Hello, it's John, Vintage Fisherman. I don't have any fishing footage this week. I didn't get out to any creeks or streams. And I haven't worked on any reels in about a week. I'm going to change that tonight. But I did go to a fishing flea market. I've been talking about it in some other videos. And I did really well. I sold about 30 reels. Some from my personal collection. Some were just reels that I got in. I'd buy a box of reels to get one reel, and I sold a lot of that stuff off that I wasn't going to use or keep for my collection. But I did do some trading, and I bought some rods. I bought a total of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rods. Okay, 6 rods. I bought a total of 6 rods, and well, a couple of them I traded for. So what I ended up buying was, I got this St. Croix Legend. Hope you can see it in the frame there. And it's a medium light. It's a 4 to 8 pound test. 6 foot. Gonna be a nice little bass rod. And I ended up putting a vintage Pin 430 SS on. I didn't buy any reels while I was there. But I really like this rod. I like this grip. It bounces really well with that reel. It's going to be a nice lightweight setup and almost vintage. I mean, the rod's not really vintage, but the reel definitely is. So that was the first one I picked up. I wound up with, and I did not buy this reel. I had this reel. It's a C4 that's been heavily modified, believe it or not. Got all the goodies in it, drag and everything. But I found this rod here, and it telescopes. Remember, I've got one like this. I just had it redone. This one's a lot newer than that rod. It's a long rod. Here we are reaching out. I'm standing a good 8 to 10 foot away from the wall. It's made by Wright and McGill. I don't know if you can see that. They call it a trolling rod, but there's no way this is a trolling rod. It's too limber. But it's made for 8 to 14 pound tests, 3/8 to 1 ounce lure. And it's 8'6" rod and an action medium. And it's a signature series rod. I can't make out that signature. I don't know. But I plan on using this on the pier for a bait rod. It's gonna be my backup bait rod to my other one that telescopes. So that was kind of cool. You don't see too many of those telescoping rods. And then, I'm sorry, I did get 7. No, I got 6 rods. I saw this St. Croix Premier. I've got the 7-foot version of this. This is a 6'6". And I really like my 7-foot version for inshore. And I thought I'd get this for heavy freshwater, like maybe striper or something. And I stuck this really pretty C4 on there. It's a beautiful match. And this is going to make a nice setup. Really nice setup. So that one is rated for 10 to 20 pound line, 3/8 to 1 ounce. I mean, it's a bass size. It says medium heavy power. I would probably throw a spinnerbait or something like that on that. Not a bad setup. I traded 1 rod and reel for 2 of these Tiger sticks. I've heard good things about it. It's a Tiger Light, ugly stick. 6'6", medium heavy, 12 to 30 pound line. I got 2 of them that are identical, and I put a couple of. I've got a C3 on this one, which is actually a C4. I've converted it to a C4, and on this one, which I'm pretty sure they're the same. Yes, they're both the same rods. I put a 6501 on here, which has been converted to a C4. 6501 C3 converted. This one has a bait clicker. So I'll use those on a pier more than likely for something. And then my last one that I got that I thought was a real find. If you grew up back in the 90s and you did any bass fishing, maybe even back into the 80s, if you had an all-star rod made in Houston, Texas, This is a T series. T series means has a Tennessee handle. I have not put a rod on it, a reel on it yet. This is a bass size rod. It's a 6'6", 8 to 17 pound line. Extra fast medium. I haven't decided what reel I'm gonna put on this yet. I'm either gonna put this beautiful Penn 440 SS on there. The problem I'm having is finding a reel that balances really good on this rod, and of course you got to tape these reels on too. So there's one option. We're talking about vintage correct here. This is a vintage rod. It's in beautiful shape. Or I may go with this nice Daiwa BG15, which is basically the same size reel as that Penn I just had in my hands. And this balances a little better. This is a little bit heavier reel than the Penn, believe it or not. So I may go with that setup right there. That'll make a really pretty bass size setup that I will fish with. And the next sale I go to, I'm gonna purge through some of my gear that I don't use anymore, that aren't as high quality as these. So that was my swap meet finds, according to my girlfriend. She said it's not a flea market if you just swap things, but I did sell more than I bought, and I'm real happy with what I found. So yeah, and just a look around at the collection here. I've added a few things. I got this rod rewrapped. This is a Daiwa. Oops, everything's gonna fall on me. This is a Daiwa surf rod, Apollo 10 foot, it's 11 foot that I had rewrapped. I've got a nice old Penn 4000 on, God, listen to me, Daiwa 4000 on there. Beautiful surf rod setup. He added a guide. He added a guide here, and he added a couple guides here. It's Marcus did a beautiful job on this rod. It's beautiful. I'm real happy with it. That's going to stay in my collection forever. I had him rewrap this Penn Sabre that I picked up, 20 to 50 pound test, 7 foot rod. It's a stroker. It's a nice rod. Rewrapped it all the way. It was in really bad. The guides were just trashed, and Marcus went through and just redid this thing. He did not have to redo the handle. The handle was fine. It's got a couple of little nicks, but we ain't gonna worry about that. But what a beautiful job. This guy is an ace for sure. He knows what he's doing. Here is, and these I did not buy recently. In fact, I won this one at auction. Online auction. This is a Wright & McGill Champion 7 foot. It's just a beautiful rod. I don't know. It doesn't really give a lot of specifics on the rod. It's a bait casting style rod, but wooden handle. Look at the condition of this thing. I did not get it rewrapped. It didn't need it. It doesn't need anything. I would go with a few more guides on if I was going to really fish it. But I've got 2 of these. I may have done a video on this. These are True Temper 123s on the True Temper rods they were sold on. Wound up with 2 of them. Isn't that cool? I'm running out of space here, and I'm trying not to add, but it seems like that's all I do is add. But these are, of course, some of the rods and reels from my youth, mixed in with a few really cool rods that I've added. This is a Garcia Mitchell 302 saltwater on a Garcia Conelon 4-star. This is a 9.5 medium action for 12 to 30 pound line. It's a good surf size. It's all original, never been rewrapped. It's beautiful. There's not a flaw to that rod. And that reel's one for my collection. just grabbing a couple out of the rack here, talking about them. This is a Fenwick from my youth. I fished with this as a kid. Not a lot of information on it. Just says fin glass. And it's got a 712 on there. That's from my youth. I used to fish with that reel. That was probably used on pier, and maybe occasionally for heavier freshwater. And that's the ones I can get to. I got stuff in the way, but yeah, that's what I've been up to. I'm going to start tearing some reels down tonight and see how it goes. And hopefully you'll have another reel repair video you can watch pretty soon. Anyways, John, Vintage Fisherman. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel. I'll be back with more content. Thank you.